out of the NFL, where the Las Vegas Raiders have fired head coach Antonio Pierce after his first full season with the team.
If John Gruden is getting interviews with other jobs, I wonder if Mark Davis is like, well, he could certainly get an interview with us.
All-time favorite's Gruden. I mean, all-time favorite.
All-time. He's the GOAT. People don't even understand. He's a legend.
I do think there's a couple of teams out there that right now are doing their homework on John Gruden.
The Las Vegas Raiders is the best situation for you to coach your son.
Let him go to the NFL, continue to coach his son.
Come on now, why not? Especially if it's in a Raider uniform.
I want to win. A lot of things that need to be talked about, and I'm looking forward to those conversations. So
the Las Vegas Raiders have fired head coach Antonio Pierce after he won the fans over last year in 2023 and had them chanting his name. Literally, the day before Antonio Pierce was fired, he made a joke about how fans turn on you.
I appreciate the support, win, lose, or draw. You know, when you take this job and when you're in front of this room, in front of the building, in front of the organization, the face of the organization, you take the good with the bad, right? And when we win, everybody's AP. When you lose, get rid of his ass. I get it. I get it. That's the nature of the beast. It was no different when I played, right? When you play well, they keep you and they give you more money. When you don't, you go to another team. So that's a good part about being a former player. You get the nature of the business. But Raider Nation's been great.
Before Antonio Pierce received the full-time job for the Raiders, everybody knew that he lacked experience.
So Antonio Pierce, only 2 years coaching in the NFL. He makes Brandon Staley look like Andy Reid. He's barely been in the NFL coaching 2 years.
But as an interim head coach with only 1 year of coaching at the NFL level as a linebacker coach, Pierce was able to get some big wins against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that had him getting a little cocky.
Beating those guys at home, how many times has that happened in the last 25 years with the Raiders? Does anybody know?
Not much.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number.
Less than a handful, right? So let's go 3. Most of those guys were, gurus. Not a defensive coach who never did it before, right? And did it a certain way, right? Did it our way, right? The Raiders' way, right? He'll figure that out. Don't worry about our quarterbacks, buddy. Worry about yours. Worry about yours.
And he was confident that the Raiders had the recipe to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs because they did it in his interim year.
It's cool. Like I told them, we're running back. We'll see them again. They got to see us. We got to see them.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Underdog, where you can win money on sports. Underdog is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. I especially love their pick'em game where you can pick your favorite players around the league and guess whether or not they'll have a higher or lower stat total this week for a chance to win big. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in one night. I especially like this for a game that I'm not emotionally invested in. I can just guess whether or not this guy will have this many yards, this many touchdowns, and sit back and watch my picks hit. Check out this map right here to see if Underdog is available in your state, like California, like Oregon, where I know a lot of you are from. And if you use my code Wi-Fi, you can claim a free pick plus get up to $1,000 in bonus cash for first-time players. So visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Find the app in the Google or Apple store and use my code Wi-Fi when you sign up to claim your free pick and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash for first-time players. What are you waiting for? Go check out Underdog right now. But injuries, a poor quarterback situation, and general lack of experience for Antonio Pierce started to make him face reality early on in the season. Pierce was criticized for poor game planning and preparation.
About time and efficiency, about wastefulness around practice times, and how they just went about business. There was sort of a staff and player meeting that didn't really go all that well. They hoped coming out of the bye that things would be better, and then they were not.
Throughout the season, many pundits took aim at some of his questionable decisions during games.
Antonio Pierce, I feel like it's a foregone conclusion. The game management on Friday was horrendous. We got to understand how to manage these game situations as well as anyone. When an NFL head coach fails to manage a critical game situation, it becomes even more glaring.
Be a head coach. Be a strategist. Keep your mouth shut. Don't put the gauntlet out. I mean, to me, he's just becoming P.T. Barnum. He's going out there selling stuff.
Now the Raiders owner Mark Davis and and minority owner Tom Brady have to make a big decision that will completely change the organization. Where do the Raiders go from here for their next head coach? Team captain on the Raiders, Maxx Crosby, would probably love for the former Raiders head coach Jon Gruden to come back.
All-time favorites, Gruden. I mean, all-time.
All time.
All
Fuck
time.
yes. He's the GOAT.
Dude, the
Fucking GOAT. No, Gruden is the man. People don't even understand. He's a legend. Every time we get to talking about him, I have to give him his flowers because I hate that, shit is the way it is, but he'll be back. He'll be back very soon. I have zero doubt.
That's our
Gruden is an interesting candidate for the Raiders, but Maxx Crosby also wouldn't mind perhaps Shedeur Sanders, one of the top quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL draft, and his dad, Deion Sanders, to come on through.
Yeah. You talk to Shedeur. Yeah. It's my guy. This is, people at the. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. More controversy. Gotta love it. No, Shedeur's my guy.
The Raiders face too much competition from other teams and the other 5 open head coach positions. They will likely not land a top candidate like Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson.
Okay, look, they don't have a quarterback, and where are they going to get one? Because right now they are picking 6th in the draft, so that doesn't make it attractive. You consider the schedule. You play 17 games. 6 of them are going to be against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Sean Payton and Bo Nix and Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. It doesn't get any harder. That's the toughest division in football, right, for a 4th team. So that's not very attractive.
Many insiders believe the Raiders are interested in a coaching candidate that nobody is talking about. This sounds like a Jon Gruden or Deion Sanders. Gruden, however, has started to emerge as a head coaching candidate.
Jim, the dark horse guy, I believe, in the coaching derby, who I think you're going to hear a little bit about in the next week or so, is Jon Gruden. And I don't know that he's going to get a job, but I do think there's a couple of teams out there that right now are doing their homework on Jon Gruden.
There are multiple teams that have been doing extensive homework on Jon Gruden, the situation, him as a coach, him as a person. I would not be surprised at all if in the coming weeks you see Jon Gruden's name popping up interviewing for a head coaching job.
Even Pat McAfee, after Antonio Pierce was fired, started to speculate as to whether Jon Gruden could be joining the team.
Culture. Jon Gruden's name is back into conversation about being an NFL coach. Obviously he's dominated on the NFL. Did he and Mark Davis get along? I think so, right?
Thought so. I don't remember them having issues.
I remember Mark Davis not being pumped about the entire situation when Gruden almost felt like he was forced. Remember, that was, if Jon Gruden is getting interviews with other jobs, I wonder if Mark Davis is like, well, he could certainly potentially get an interview with us. Yeah, and I don't know if Gruden would want to go back to the Raiders with how everything went in that thing.
We know a big-time Raiders fan, Ice Cube, who does lots of events with the organization, was a guest on Deion Sanders' talk show, and they both started to tease the possibility of Deion Sanders being the Raiders head coach.
What would you do? You in my situation.
Help them get to the next level any way I can.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But should it go past that, or?
What do you mean past that?
Let him go to the NFL, continue to coach his son.
Hey, come on now. Why not? Especially if it's in a Raider uniform. Come on, baby. Oh, man, don't get me to acting a fool. You know what I mean? That would be a dream come true as a fan of the Raiders.
The theory of Deion Sanders making his way to the NFL coaching ranks, despite the fact that he only has college coaching experience, has been floated around this year because his son, Shedeur Sanders, is entering the 2025 NFL draft. A lot of people have been speculating that they could join the Raiders.
What if they bring in Shedeur in prime?
I have to trade up.
This will be Brady's first big decision as a partial owner of the Raiders.
Tom Brady is a mentor, right, to Shedeur?
Yep.
Yeah. Has been for years now.
Owner of the Raiders.
Oh.
Is Coach Prime and Shedeur taking the Sanders show to Las Vegas? Whew. Who the fuck knows? We know nothing, dude. We know absolutely nothing.
Should Deion Sanders, biggest name in college, should he want to coach the Raiders? The Las Vegas Raiders is the best situation for you to coach your son. They are going to have a top 5 pick. Your son is going to be a top 5 pick. I don't know if you know, but they need a quarterback. They don't have a $60 million quarterback like the Dallas Cowboys under contract with no trade clause. Everything you want to accomplish, you can accomplish in Las Vegas. I think It will be very, very smart for them to entertain. And I think if Deion Sanders was even thinking about coming to the pros, I believe the Las Vegas Raiders will suit him and his son just fine, because you will have the opportunity to draft your son and bring him to Las Vegas.
Either way, Raiders owner Mark Davis and Tom Brady have a big decision to make, and it's going to impact players like Maxx Crosby, who have been pondering leaving the organization if they don't have a good plan.
I'm on the same boat. Like, I want to win. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be I want to know there's a real plan and execution behind it. You know what I mean? It's like I put in way too much work, bro. And I get it from a front office standpoint and coaches standpoint, like, well, this guy just be a football player and stop worrying about. I'm like, the people that have that opinion to say, and you don't understand what I do to even get on the field on Sundays, bro. Like, I've had 6 surgeries now. I've put everything into it. I train all year round. I sacrifice all the time in the world with my daughter, my family, with y'all, with everybody, 24/7. I like real isolation a lot of the time because I got to be up at 5 in the morning, no matter if it's off. So y'all know how it is. Like, I put everything into it, and I've earned the right to say something. And I'm not sitting here saying I got all the answers or I'm 100% right about everything. But at the end of the day, like, my intentions are pure, and like, I want to win, and that's all that matters to me. And like, yeah, it's been tough. You know what I mean? It's been 6 years of inconsistency. You know what I mean? It's new coaches every other year and this and this and that and new teammates. And there's been plenty of times where I'm like, damn, like, this D-line is cold. And then I come back and every single one of them's gone. You know what I mean? And it's like, what the you know what I mean? And then it just, there's on and on and on. There's a lot of things. So it's just like,
Crosby was comparing his situation to pass rusher on the Browns, Myles Garrett, and he sounds very frustrated with the situation, and it looks like he's going to have a big talk with the Raiders this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, like, there's obviously a million conversations to be had. Like, it's no secret. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my contract situation, like, I have no more guaranteed money. There's a lot of different things. Like, obviously, you know, there's going to be a lot of things that need to be talked about, and I'm looking forward to those conversations. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like, I'm really looking forward to this offseason, the process, and
hopefully the Raiders make a good move that keeps arguably their best player in the past decade.